So we are still talking about combination and binomial coefficient. Now in this case, question 2, which is still section 1, okay, and we have already talked about question 1. So this is now question 2 in section 1. So now we are going to talk about proving binomial identities. So if k and r are integers such that 0 is less than or equal to r, less than or equal to k, prove that k choose r is equal to k plus r, or k plus 1 choose r minus k choose r minus 1. Okay, so now we just want to prove that this is equal to that. So in this case, I think I'm going to prove the complicated one. I'll get the complicated one, which is to the left, no, to the right hand side. Okay, so we have got right hand side, which is actually k plus 1 choose k, let me just put it like this, plus 1 choose r minus k, then r minus 1. Now one thing I want you guys to understand is this: we want to prove that this is equal to k choose r, but k choose r is the same as k factorial divided by k minus r factorial times r factorial. So initially we just want to go and reach at this stage, then we'll know that this guy is actually the k choose r. So as we are going to be doing this, we need to reach at this stage. Once we reach at this stage, because we know that this stage is the same as k choose r, like that. Remember, this question is also from the question bank. Okay, so that's why I think you have seen this question bank. The way it's written is worked solution. So the PDF has got the solutions and the keynotes and rows used. So sometimes you have forgotten the rows that you are supposed to use. So for each question, there are some Zuma notes that we have put to the other side in the PDF. So the PDF is there on website. After watching this video, just go on website and access this PDF. So it's going to help you a lot. Okay, so if you look at this now, I can clearly see that I'm going to use the same factorial theorem, or the combination one. Okay, so k plus 1, this is going to be k plus 1 in the bracket, then factorial. We divide this by, it will be k plus 1 minus r, then factorial times r factorial. That's what we know. Okay, so I've gotten this top part, which is this one, k plus 1 minus r, then factorial, then times that one, then minus this one. Now is going to be also k factorial. We have got divide this by k. Now because here we are doing minus, this negative is going to affect everything, so it's going to be minus r. So negative, and this negative here, it will be plus. It will be plus 1 in the bracket. Then we've got factorial. Even here it will be now r minus 1 factorial. That's what we have. Now we can find something that is the common denominator. Now if you look at this carefully, we can see that the common denominator that we are going to have, put it here, I think is r. R is going to be the common denominator. Now these guys are the same. If you look at this and these are the same, so that is one of the common denominator, which is k plus 1 plus minus r factorial. Now what of between this and this, which one is the common denominator? We know that if you want, the time I was explaining about factorial theorem, I said if you have got 7 factorial, it is 7 times 4 times 6, then times 5. If I decide to end on 5, I'll put a factorial. As long as I decide to end on that number, I'll put a factorial, then everything is okay. Now if you look at this carefully, this is the same as 7, then 7 minus 1, which is 6, again 7 minus 2, which is 5. I decide to end here, put a factorial. So the r, if I've got r factorial, it's the same as r. You start with r, open brackets, then you keep on reducing, r minus 1. If I decide to end here, I'll put a factorial. Again, I can keep on going, r, then r minus 1, r minus 2, r minus 3. If I decide to end here, put a factorial. Now in this case I'm going to use this one. Why? Because I know that I have got r minus 1 factorial. Okay, so I'll use r as also my what, my common. So meaning that r, this r factorial, r minus 1 is also there, and also r factorial is also there. Okay, so now we'll start doing this. I'm going to use this, like I've said, I'm using r factorial as the common denominator. So r minus 1 factorial can enter into r, because r factorial is r multiplied by what? R minus y, r minus 1 factorial. So meaning that this guy, if I've got r factorial, meaning that r minus 1 factorial can go into this and it's going to leave r. Okay, and the r factorial can go into this as just 1 and it's going to be cancelled out. So r factorial is the same as r open brackets r minus 1 factorial. I hope you have gotten that point. Now if we get this and this, they are going to cancel out. Again, r and r will cancel, meaning that everything here is going to be cancelled out with the down part and remain with 1. 1 times the numerator, which is k plus 1 factorial. So you have k plus 1, then you have got a factorial. Okay, minus, now here again this and this will cancel because they are the same. On that here we have got k plus 1 minus r. This is k minus r plus 1. It's the same thing. Okay, those they will cancel. Now if you look at this, I want you guys to look at this. R factorial is the same as r minus 1 factorial. We are dividing this by r minus 1 then factorial. So you realize that this and this will cancel and remain with just r. So you have r then times k on top. So you have got r then times k factorial. Because of this k on top, that's what you have now. Okay, now let us look at something. Let us try to look at something down there. Okay, yeah, let us try to look at something down there. Now if I want to see something that is going to be common on top. I've got k. Remember we said that r factorial, we are reducing this to r, then r minus 1, then we have to put factorial. This is the same as the k. So if I've got k factorial, it's going to be, I write first this, then it will be k minus 1, I put a factorial. But now look at the first part that we have here, k plus 1. So this k plus 1 factorial, we are going to reduce it so that we have k. So you write first the same k, this one comes the way it is, so you are reducing it by 1. So k plus 1 minus 1, it will give me k. As long as I decide to end here, I'll put a factorial. It's like we have this minus 1, so these will cancel and I'll have k, so it will be just k factorial. Now I have got something that is going to be common. Okay, I think I'll continue from here. So now we have got this is going to be replaced by a k plus 1 then times k factorial minus r k factorial. We divide this by, again, if we look at something here, something common, we can clearly see that the down part we can also reduce it, and I'm going to use down part here. So I'll use this part. So this k plus 1 minus r factorial, we want to reduce it by 1. So it's going to be k plus 1 minus r, leave it like that. Then the next one you are subtracting 1. So this guy minus 1, that 1 and 1 will cancel. So you are going to have k plus 1 minus r minus 1. So this and this will cancel and you remain with k minus r. Now we have decided to end here, we put a factorial. That's what we're going to have. The reason why I'm doing this, I want to match with something that is going to be on top. So the down part now becomes, it will be k plus 1 minus r, then we have got k minus r, we put a factorial, but we also have the r. So we have the r factorial like that. Okay, Now we continue. The top part I can factor out k factorial because I want k factorial to appear on top and I want k minus r down as factorial and r factorial. So if I factor out k factorial, I'll remain with, I've removed this, and I'll remain with k plus 1 and minus r. Like that. Here down, there is nothing to factor out. We just have k plus 1 minus r, then k minus r factorial times r factorial. Now we can clearly see that this guy and this guy, they are the same, they'll cancel out. And the only thing that I've remained with is k factorial. We divide this by k minus r factorial times r factorial. Now if you look at this, this is exact as the part that we are looking for. And this is exact the same as that. Now when you reach at this point, you just say, we have reached at k factorial divided by k minus r factorial r factorial. This is the same as k choose r. So the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Hence, proved in this case. So that's how you prove such type of identities. This is how you prove such type of identities. Now, sometimes you might come across a question that is going to tell you this. It's the same thing, guys. So this is going to go to the other side. Maybe they will tell you to say, prove that k choose r plus k then r minus 1 then is equal to k plus 1 choose r. There is no difference here. They can use different letters. Sometimes they can use n. They can even tell n choose r. You are proving this as n then r minus 1. You are doing this. Then there is plus here. This is equal to n plus 1. Then choose what? Choose r. It's the same thing. It's the same as this question that we are solving, on that here they just shifted this to go to the other side. Now they have moved this to the other side, which is positive. So you're going to prove this. You have first to put this in a form of the way I had to put it here. As simple as that. Okay? Now, this question 2, we also have question 3 that is also talking about identities. Now, question 3 is simple because it's telling us to say, show that n choose r plus n choose 1 plus n choose 2 plus, we keep on going, then n choose r choose n is equal to 2 to the power n. So if you look at this, okay, if you look at this question carefully, you realize that this 2 to the power n is the same as if we can put this in a form of a plus b raised to the power n. This is going to be 1 plus 1 choose n. And we know that a plus b choose n, the formula is n choose r, then a n minus r b to the power r. I'll use the same one. So we have got 1 plus 1 raised to the power n. So in this case, we have got n. Okay, the first one will start with, we always start with 0. R will be 0, that's the first one. Then we have got 1 as a, then n, r is what? 0. Then b is still 1 raised to the power, r is 0. Plus n, this keep on coming, so now n choose 1. So you have 1, n minus 1, then 1 raised to the power 1. Plus, again n, we keep on going, this is going to be now n choose 2. So 1, n minus 2, then again 1 to the power 2. Now we know that it will keep on going in this case all the way to n choose n. We know about that. Okay, now if we simplify this, let's see if we're going to get this. Okay, let's see. If we look at this, n minus 1, we can get n can be any number. We don't know that number. But because there is 1 to the power this number, 1 to the power any number is 1. Then this one still 1 to the power 0 is 1. 1 times 1, it will give me n choose 0. Plus, Same applies here. N minus 1. N can be any number, but because it is 1 raised to the power n minus 1, it can be any number, but 1 raised to the power any number is 1. So definitely this is going to give us 1. Then again, we still have n, choose 1. Same applies here. This guy, n choose 2. If this can be any number, n can be any number, but it will be still 1 because we are raising 1 to the power any number is 1. So then 1 to the power 2 is still 1. So you keep having n choose 2. Then you keep on going. So this is how you can show this. At this point, you just say the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, left hand side, hence shown. I believe at this point you cannot fail to prove any identity, any binomial identity. I believe so. Okay? So these questions were coming in an exam, test, and some quizzes. And we have some different questions, again, other set of identities in the question bank. You can explore them. They have the solution in PDF. You'll be able to see them. Okay? So that marks the end of question 2 and question 3, that is under identities. We are still talking about section 1 of binomial theorem.